Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to SeahawkTalk here on the Salve Athletics Network. I am Andrew Pizzoli, your host, coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope through Twitter. Every day we are live here 3 to 4 p.m. We've got a great show for you lined up here today on a Monday. Jody Mooradian, joined by Paul Boutoussov of our men's ice hockey team and the president of SAC. Graysen Scherer from women's tennis, the head coach of our men's lacrosse team, Patrick Cooney, and then two members of our baseball team, Kyle Brown and Patrick Maybach. Can't wait to get to them and our producers, but first, like always, we want to remind you to keep your distance. That is Ed Habershaw with his rendition of Keep Your Distance from The Shake, Rhode Island-based band. Great message, keeping your distance, social distancing, hand washing, mask wearing, all that stuff. We've been talking about it constantly, and we will continue to do so here on the Seahawk Talk program. Now I want to speak with our producers, Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco. Fellas, how were your weekends, and how are you here on a Monday?
Weekends were very relaxing, and now it's back to a Monday and another week.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Do you guys have anything here of interest to lead off this week's programming?
Only thing. Sorry. No, Joey, go right ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. So I have an article from Newport Daily News. I don't know if anybody was in the Broadway area yesterday, because I was not, and I did not know about this. This is super cool. But from where does it say? From Marlborough Street to Farewell Street, the stretch of Broadway in between there. I'm not sure exactly the specifics. If either of you know, like, what stores that includes, like, I know, like, High Hopes, Empire, Closet Revival, like that stretch of road. I'm not sure how much of it, but they closed it to car traffic for, I don't know, it doesn't say for how long, but I assume like until shops closed on Sunday, to make kind of people kind of described it like a farmer's market. Like, a lot of the stores moved their stuff outside, and it was organized by the owner of Closet Revival, which is like a thrift store, because like they were saying, like they didn't have the sidewalk space to like move stuff outside, so now that they're able to move into the street, they got a bunch of more people. And other places like High Hopes, Holy Smokes, Poor Judgment, a lot of them mentioned like they got a ton of people to come by because of this, and they want to make it here. Let's see these pictures. They want to make it like a recurring thing. Supposedly, they're going to be talking about it today. Like all the business owners, and they want to try to do it at least next Sunday. But the article says that like a lot of them want to try to make it like every Sunday, which I think would be really cool, because it looks really fun. I think I love farmers markets. Like, when my sister lived in New Jersey, I would go with her. Sometimes they have these farmers markets, and they're so cool. And this is obviously a little bit different, but I think just the vibe of it is super nice, and it lets these businesses, make more money, which is what we've been talking about a lot. Like, we want the businesses to be able to succeed. So I think this will be really good for that.
It reminds me, I know a lot of towns and cities around the U.S. and in Rhode Island are doing more of this, the sidewalk seating and closing off streets. It's a very European thing. So in Europe, you have that happen where they'll close down the streets like at some point at night, and the restaurants set up chairs on the sidewalks, and all people just walk down the street. I went to Quebec City a couple of years ago. They do that there as well, like inside the walls of the old city. At 5 o'clock every day, boom, they block it off for cars, and it's just all foot traffic. So all the restaurants, you can sit outside on their big sidewalks, and then people just walk in the road. Same thing, I was in Ottawa a couple of summers ago. They do that too. It's really, really cool. It's fun. It creates a different atmosphere. I think it'd be really cool as long as the weather's good for places like Providence, which normally never feel like real walking around cities.
Yeah.
If now everything's kind of happening on the sidewalks and more people are sitting outside and you're walking, it creates a different, a more inclusive atmosphere. You know, you feel like you're somewhere rather than, oh, I just went to my little silo here in this restaurant, come out, hop in a cab, drive across town, get into this silo. You kind of feel like you're in a group with a group of people out and about. It's really cool. I hope there's more of that, and I hope they continue to do that in Newport.
Yeah.
Yeah, Newport would be good. Providence, like you said, if they did a water fire, not like a crossover, like water fire, and then they had the businesses take it outside. I feel like that would be a great thing and a lot safer too with everything going on right now.
Yeah. Mike, what did you have that you wanted to share?
Yeah, just I know we were talking a bit about this on the last show with the postseason. Not so sure for college students, but for the Interscholastic League here on Rhode Island, all the high schools will be able to play their postseasons. And they're going to be releasing a schedule this Monday afternoon, so today, and they started to a little bit. They said soccer and field hockey will have their championships November 21st and the 22nd. Girls tennis the 14th for individual. So this is like very cool that they're able to do this. They're doing their track cross country meets, and then boys and girls soccer will both be able to play. So they're not so sure about the formatting yet, but overall the playoffs are going to happen. So just a good piece of news right there, positive for the Rhode Island schools.
Yeah, that's good for them.
And kind of going along with like the timeline we've seen for everything else as well. All of this is going to be wrapped before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is kind of that like line of demarcation where everybody's drawing the line, where it's like, this is where a lot of schools are, like Salve is offering, if you go back and you want to stay home, you can go remote. That's kind of that like benchmark where, at least for the fall sports, they're trying to, from a high school standpoint, let's close everything up by then, and then we can give ourselves a nice buffer before we have to worry about getting into the winter sports. So that is cool. Well, fellas, I'm going to let you guys get behind the scenes, and we're actually going to take a quick break here while we try to pull in Jody Mooradian and Paul Boutoussov to talk about some SAC-related things here happening at the campus of Salve Regina. So we're going to take a very short break, and we'll be right back with them.
Listen to some SAC do's and don'ts.
So you want to be a Seahawk? Let's make sure you wash your hands, keep your distance, wear your mask, and love your Seahawks.
Sammy, no mask?
Come on, Sammy. I know it's pumpkin spice season, but you can't bring drinks to class.
We have simple rules here, Sammy. Get out. Come back when you can follow them.
You gotta take care of yourself and others, even if you are Sammy the Seahawk.
Welcome back to Seahawk Talk. I'm your host, Andrew Pizzelli. Going to go now to a senior member of our men's ice hockey team, the president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and one of the stars of the videos you just saw, Paul Boutoussov. Paul, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Andrew. Thank you for having me today.
I wanted to ask you, we'll start with the SAC stuff. You're the president of SAC, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. What motivated you when you came to Salve to become a part of that little organization and then to want to become president? Like, what motivated you to be a leader on campus like that?
Well, in all honesty, I was actually kind of forced into SAC. A couple of the upperclassmen said some freshmen need to go to there, and I just ended up going to every single meeting. I just love the connections that you have with other students, and from there, I was the event coordinator the following year. We planned some great events that year. We made the student faculty basketball game, and that was a lot of fun. And then from there, I just ended up becoming the president. And what really motivated me to do that was just because I met so many great people along the way. And I just love being involved with athletics and Jody and Ed and all those people. So I'm lucky to be here.
Now, some of the things you guys have been doing this year, obviously without being able to promote games and that sort of stuff, you guys have been very cognizant of promoting things on campus and kind of what we've talked about on the show about promoting growth as people, more so than focusing on the games. Talk about some of the projects you've been working on. What went into the video we just saw, you berating Sammy the Seahawk for coming into Garrity Hall.
Yeah, so obviously there's a lot more rules and restrictions nowadays, and it's very important to follow those. And then it is tough. You can't have your pumpkin spice latte in class, but you can enjoy it at home if you're online. But so another thing that we've been doing in that video is a little fun one. When we have a walk for equality actually on Thursday coming up, that's at 2:00. We'll be meeting at Garrity Lawn. So the walk for equality is part of the NCAA diversity and inclusion campaign. And it's the theme for the 29th is we've got your back, and it's just pretty much essentially emphasizing the importance of collaboration and inclusion and diversity on a campus, and just having everybody on the same page and working together towards the common goal.
Mm-hmm. And so again, that's at 2 p.m. on Thursday. I'm sure you gotta just so we know everybody. Wear your masks. Everybody come. Yeah. We're gonna be all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah. Outside, yes, we'll be socially distant. Everyone will be in the masks, and we'll have some shirts that we'll be passing out with gloves. So we'll be taking every precaution.
Awesome. How has it been? From a student standpoint, Salve's response to COVID and coming back to campus and the adjustment. What has that been like?
I think it's been very, very well handled. I know Malcolm has a lot more on his plate, and everyone else that works for the school obviously has a lot more on their plate now. But I think the response has been very well. They're making sure that every precaution is taken care of, and I feel as though people feel comfortable and they feel safe being on campus. And those that aren't, that don't feel that way, they're welcome to do the rest of the classes online. They do that at home. But obviously we want to return to in person as soon as possible. And I feel as though Salve has done a great job of mitigating all the risks and, making sure that people feel safe on the campus.
Mm-hmm. In your pre-show questionnaire, you put in something you wanted to talk about was laser therapy. Now, isn't the laser they're trying to always kill James Bond with? How do you laser therapy? What is that all about?
So actually, Star Trek has a little. They use this technology for a little bit, but essentially, it utilizes light therapy to stimulate all the cellular processes that occur in your body for healing. So it's something that I've done the last several summers, and my BP thesis, the business thesis class, my group has been working with my dad's company doing that, and I think that this is going to be a very relevant technology in the future. And it is kind of a laser that is that James Bond runs away from, but it's not like that. It just, like I said, stimulates all the healing processes that naturally occur in your body. So it's pretty exciting stuff. And I'm excited to keep doing that in the future.
Speaking of the future, have you thought at all about life after college? I know it seems crazy to think that you're a senior, but senior year is here. Have you thought at all about what'll happen post Salve?
Yes, definitely have. My dad actually came down to town last weekend. We had a nice little talk about my future. I I love hockey. I've been playing it since I've been 6, 7 years old. I'd like to go overseas this upcoming year. I have a lot of family out in Europe. Both my parents are from Russia. I have a lot of family in Austria, Italy, and Sweden, and so I want to go out there. I'm not sure exactly where. I'm honestly kind of leaning towards Russia. So I want to play professional out there for a year or two, given the opportunity. And then I also like to work on the side with this whole laser company and potentially pursue my my master's from a school as well. So kind of, one day at a time right now. Don't want to think too far into the future, but life after Salve is kind of looking like it's going to be overseas for me.
Now, you talked about playing hockey overseas. Are you going to play forward or you want to play goalie?
So I'll play forward as long as it's competitive. I'm playing forward, but yes, when I am older, I am going to be a men's league goalie. I'm not sure why. I just love love the pads. I love their helmets. I think that they're very individualistic, and I kind of like being there, like kind of the last line of defense. So yeah, a lot of people don't know that I like playing goalie, but I have played in several tournaments before, actually, in roller hockey. And so yeah, I think I'll be goalie when I'm a little bit older, but for now I'll be playing forward.
When you're 45, you just don't want to be skating up and down the ice anymore. That's
exactly,
what it is, right?
Exactly.
That's right. Nice, relaxed position there on the ice. We do have Jody in with us now, so I'm gonna pull her into the show as well. So Jody Mooradian, athletic director here at South Virginia. We're speaking with Paul Boutoussov as well. Jody, we were talking about all of the great things SAC has done in the past, they're doing now.
Yep.
Maybe if you could give your comments on well as what SAC and Paul as president have done and what they're continuing to do on campus currently.
So I wore my SAC shirt today, but first of all, I would have been able to get in if Paul were here in my office with me, because I've had the pleasure to work with him for, 3.5 years. So as SAC president, he has just changed the dynamic, changed the level of involvement, and just overall as a student athlete, he's just somebody that's been my go-to and person that when we need something or when he can speak for others, he does so. So it's so fun to be on the show with him, but I miss seeing him more. As we miss everybody, but SAC has become a group that really speaks for the student athletes, and they reach out and they take care of others. They do everything we want student athletes, and everything we want people to do. So it's been refreshing in the last 3 years. The change has been dramatic. So it's great. It's great to see you, Paul.
Good to see you too, Jody. Thank you.
I want to see you on the ice.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
Paul, I got a last question for you, and then I'm gonna get some updates from Jody. You also mentioned, we get these little questions, things about yourself, things people would be surprised to know. You listed off juggle, speak Russian, and you like to bike. So I'm wondering if in our next SAC video, maybe we could get you riding a bike, juggling, maybe singing something in Russian. Is that possible?
Oh man, I would definitely need to work on my multitasking skills for that. I need to practice for a week or two. Yeah, but before it gets cold, maybe I'll get my roommates to videotape me doing that. Give the people fun.
You might not be allowed back in Russia if you do that. So it might not be your proudest moment, but
anyway. Paul, I'm sure we're going to have you on the show again to down the line to talk more about specifically the hockey stuff. I know you guys in your senior class is really motivated and excited for this season. When we have you on again, we'll get more into all of those details because I know you're probably chomping at the bit to talk to those. Yeah. But thank you for coming on today and talking about all the wonderful things SAC has been doing, and good luck with the rest of the fall.
Thank you very much, Andrew. It was good seeing you again. You as well, Jody.
See ya. See you later.
Have a good day, guys.
That's Paul Boutoussov from our men's ice hockey team and the president of SAC. Jody, real quick, I wanted to get some updates from you about where things stand with campus. I know we're going to have Captain's Council last week. Everything it's like everything else. So week to week, day by day, things change. I think we are going to have the event now, kind of a full virtual thing now, right?
Yes, we did have to change the format, all our best ideas, but then reality strikes and we have to be cautious and careful. So Captain's Council, we have a great speaker we'll start with the president, and then we will be having Carolyn Swords, who was in the WNBA championships this year and has just done an outstanding job. And she's a wonderful young woman and leader. And I was lucky enough to be with her at Boston College, where she was one of the best players in the ACC. And so it's just developed into someone that I know our captains will be able to learn from. So everything will be virtual, but student athletes will be able to interact. And I guess we're all used to that format, or this format now. So that will be set up tomorrow, and then we're going to pick a time, but people will be able to be on virtually. So we'll pick that date coming up soon.
So keep your eyes and ears peeled for, I'm sure there'll be links being fired out all over the place for us to find out and join in and watch the Captain's Council. Jody, we're going to move the program along, but glad you were able to jump in.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Join us here on the program, and we look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Okay, thanks so much.
All right, that's Jody Mooradian, the athletic director here at Sal Regina. We're going to go now to a freshman member of our women's tennis team, Graysen Scherer. Graysen, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Andrew?
Good. I wanted to get your thoughts first. As a freshman, every kind of section of this past year has to have been completely crazy. How did the pandemic affect your spring, your summer, and then now your fall in trying to adjust to being a collegiate athlete in such a strange time?
Yeah, it's definitely been really crazy, and it's good we kind of got the whole part of applying to college and figuring everything out with athletics in the fall time. But coming into the spring, that's when my high school tennis season is. So it was really upsetting getting to or having to lose that. But I was really excited to come into Salve, and I knew we were going to have a practice season in the fall, and I was excited hopefully for the spring season this year, keeping our fingers crossed. And it's been crazy, but I feel like here at Salve and with Coach Adam, we've done really good so far with everything and socially distancing while still getting the athletics portion in.
Mm-hmm. How has the fall practicing been going? Obviously, tennis was already going to be some socially distant to begin with, so you guys didn't have as many hurdles to jump through, but you guys, I think, are probably fully ramped up now. How has the practice season gone?
It was great so far. We had it was September 21st to about last week. We ended, and we're still going to do some captain's conditioning and things like that within the next few weeks. But the past month and a half with it was amazing, and it was so great to be able to meet the team then and start practicing as kind of like a preseason in a way. And yeah, it's just been really great so far. Mm-hmm. It's getting me excited for the spring, definitely.
I was say, speaking of the spring, I think everybody's goal is just to play, right? But aside from that, what are the goals or expectations of the team once you guys can get on the court?
Once we get on the court, Coach actually made us kind of a list of what we have to go through and everything, and just different rules and aspects of the team. And it's definitely higher level than high school, which is really exciting. And all the girls, I'm playing with the girls a lot older than me, same age and things like that. So it's definitely a different experience, but really great so far.
Mm-hmm. What has been, or who have you leaned on most on the team? Is it the seniors? Is it the leadership? Who has helped you the most, and who's helping the team the most through this time?
I would definitely say our captain, Anne-Marie. She's our only senior on the team, and she's doing an amazing job as captain. She's a great leader on the team, and she really gets us together for bonding and helping out us as the underclassmen and even sophomores and juniors as well. And she's been an amazing captain so far.
Mm-hmm. What kind of things have you guys do as far as team bonding, whether it be doing a community service type thing or just doing fun things together as a group, or even if it's virtually as a group? What kind of team bonding things have you guys been able to participate in?
So it was a couple weeks ago we did a pasta party, which is really awesome. And then during the summer, we went out to lunch one time and things like that just to get to know each other. Because I think that's just a really big part of being on a sports team is bonding with your teammates, your coach, your captain, things like that. So I think she's done a great job with that.
Mm-hmm. You told us before the show that your major is social work, that you love helping people. Do you feel kind of that an extra bit of motivation knowing that field, given the pandemic, what everybody's going through, that people are going to want and need help more than ever in the coming years? Does that make you feel good about the area that you're choosing to study?
Yes, definitely. I've been really excited over the past few months and even taking my first semester courses and everything with social problems, psychology, things like that. Obviously, it's such a huge thing right now with the pandemic and even just entering college and everything, and entering college in a pandemic. It's a huge topic right now, and it gets me really excited for what I'm going to go into in the future.
All of the hoops you have to jump through, like we've talked about the struggles of the summer and getting to camp, all the adjustments, you have to really love tennis. You have to really love what you want to do to go through all that. Why do you love tennis?
I love it because it's kind of like an outlet for me. I've played ever since I was in kindergarten, so a very long time. And I knew when applying to college and everything, I knew that I was going to want to play. And so the next 4 years I'm so excited for, and just improving and everything. I've had some great coaches the past few years. Coach Adam's awesome. And I love the team. So I'm really excited.
You played since kindergarten. That's now I'm assuming
Yeah.
was that the parents put the tennis racket in your hand, or did you choose it yourself?
My parents did, because my dad played in high school, so I play with him a lot when I'm home. And then obviously my my high school team and everything, and I had a lot of friends who love tennis, so that's kind of how it started.
Awesome. Well, Graysen, thank you so much for joining me here today. Good luck with the rest of the fall. Hopefully we see you out on those beautiful new courts this spring. And thank you again for joining us here today.
Thank you so much.
All right. That's Graysen Scherer, freshman on our women's tennis team. We're going to go now to the head coach of our men's lacrosse team, Patrick Cooney. Pat, how you doing here on a Monday?
Good. How you doing, Andrew?
Good. I wanted to get the update from you. How has practice been going? I believe, are you guys in that vaunted, the phase 3 now? Are you guys getting to do some actual? Not yet. We're still not there.
We're not there. Yeah. We start a little later than most of the teams, being a spring sport, but taking advantage of the great weather we've had. We're in phase 2 right now, and it's going very well. The students really are motivated, and it's great to be part of it.
I was going to say, you hope that it's as nice now as it will be, hopefully February 13th, right?
Yeah, smooth sailing right now in the fall. So February is tough sometimes, but it's been mild the last few years, so we'll work with that.
Awesome. What else can you tell me about the team? What else you guys have been doing? You know, practice is one thing, but everybody's working on things outside of practice as well. What has the team been up to?
You know, we've gone about 3 days a week on the field for a total of 3 weeks. We've gone a total of 9 practices, and then what we've tried to do also on Fridays and 2 particular weekdays, we call it Field Trip Friday, where we go out in Newport, thereabouts, and then this past Saturday instead of Friday, what we did was a beach cleanup. So these types of events, in addition to practice, really help bond teams. And then in this case, because it is the fall, some of these guys are still learning their names. You know, we have 45 student athletes out there with several freshmen. So this opportunity is just as important as catching and throwing and being athletic, but knowing each other, person left and right of you. Try to have a little fun along the way as well.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's talked about the struggles of being a freshman in a year like this and having to adapt to everything. But there's also the other side of that, which is seniors who have had 3 years of being used to the same thing, and now they're being forced to adapt, you know, in what could be their last year. How have your seniors responded, and what are your thoughts on anyone in particular, senior leadership on your team?
You know, I think they've responded well. It's a big part of our success in practice. We do have a lot of seniors. We have a total of 14, including the 2 grad students who are using their extra year. We had 16, but actually 2 graduated early. 1 last year, Griffin, and then this year, Liam Ryder will graduate in 3.5 years. So this class as a whole has, as I say, gravity. They have it at practice, they have it off the field, and really have set a tone for this program the last 3.5 or so years. So practice, once again, it's been fun being around this group. It's a group of leaders. They have skill, athleticism, but they got chutzpah. They definitely have some maturity to them now. Many of them are, you know, young men in their 20s, and they have some energy out there. So as we moved into phase 2, practice got more physical to a degree, as much as you can be right now. But it's neat to see them compete out there. They genuinely, I've said it several times, love each other. And they've been very welcoming of the freshman class. I think this senior class had a great experience 3.5 years ago, where that prior senior group had really welcomed them. And I kept reinforcing to them this year the need to have that same type of welcoming, especially with everything that's going on, that welcoming attitude. So even my son being a freshman, I think he's seen firsthand the value of senior leadership. It's a unique bunch. I don't want to go on and on, but they really are. 5 sets of them come from similar high schools. So many of them have a natural affinity bond coming into Salve. It's rare. 3 are from the same high school in New York, where we get a lot of our guys, Kellenberg High School. That group, along with some of the other guys, competed at the highest level in their respective states. 2 of those sets, Kellenberg and Shoreham-Wading River, those high schools won their respective state championships. And many are coming from those good types of programs, not just in lacrosse, but other sports. So I can go on and on about them. I know they'll be successful in the future. We're hoping to have that year this year. To further answer your question, I think a lot of them have realized, there's uncertainty, and some of them are looking past the end of academics now. What are we going to do professionally? Some are looking at law school, some are applying for jobs, some are thinking of coming back for that 5th year. But I think, the whole totality of this whole situation has matured them, as I would imagine most everyone.
I asked this question of Kevin Gilmartin about recruiting, multiple players from one school, or people who are brothers or cousins, people who know each other, they have a rapport. You have a lot of that, like you just said, on your team, guys who are either siblings or all went to the same school together. Is that a big factor for you when you recruit, knowing like, hey, I'm bringing in some guys that'll already have some chemistry on the field? Because especially in your sport, that chemistry is so important.
I think that's a definite byproduct. It's a known commodity, though, when you look at it in big, broad strokes, whether it be the school itself. Families do talk. I think, there's value in that both ways. They know what they're getting coming in. They're motivated. And you do, at the end of the day, get that chemistry when they all come.
Mm-hmm. How are you going to approach recruiting this coming year? Is just going to be a lot of film sessions? Will there be showcases like we've traditionally seen, that sort of thing? What is your plan?
We'll
for
see.
recruiting?
Right now, between hockey and lacrosse, many of the New England states are once again putting different restrictions in there. There's several states that are still open for business this summer. There were several open for business. We've been active and out and about as best as we can be with different restrictions. But frankly, it hasn't been that difficult for the 21 class, who are the rising seniors right now. And we're really into the 22s, accumulating those names and contacts. 21s are pretty much being finalized now as we speak, and we've done very well. We have 10 committed to the application process here at Salve for the 21 class, and have made a number of different contacts where we feel in the end we'll have enough young men to fill that large void created by that graduating 21 class I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm. Even with those guys graduating, with the potential for guys to come back for 5th year, there could be a blanket waiver for this year. Are you ready to have 100 guys on your team potentially with recruited classes as well?
Nah, not 100 guys. I don't know if we could do that. That'd be I need to look at that equipment budget a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think 50 is a good round number. We're about 45. With us, one of the factors is it sounds silly, but it's the bus. Logistically, coaches, things like that, trainers. You'll see many of the programs today have anywhere between 40 and 60 individuals at the highest level in Division III.
Mm-hmm. I've asked this question of a couple of our coaches and of our athletes. Envision the post-COVID world. Things are back to normal. Either where is somewhere that you'd want to travel, or what is the first thing you'd want to do that maybe you can't do right now?
Well, I'd like to, go back to Florida on our spring trip. If we're talking lacrosse and shop, we haven't done that in a number of years, and I think by the end of next year, we're going to be itching to get out, play some other teams, non-conference teams as well. And with the team we have in the future, we feel we can compete at the highest levels nationally. And often that spring trip's where you get some of those better games in nationally ranked venues.
Mm-hmm. And it's not bad being down in like Tampa, Florida, middle of March in New England, right?
It is, it is. It's nice. And it's team building again, those trips, those experiences, off the field, off and bond, just as much as on.
All right. Coach, thank you so much for joining us here today. I always look forward to speaking with you. Good luck with the rest of practice. Hopefully, when will phase 3 begin? When will we get to phase 3?
Another week. But we're doing great. Guys are into it, so we're into it. All good.
Awesome. Coach, thank you so much for being on today, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Very good. Have a good day.
All right, that's Pat Cooney, the head coach of our men's lacrosse team. We're going to take a short break and be right back with 2 members of our baseball team, Pat Maybach and Kyle Brown. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Seahawk Talk. I am your host, Andrew Pizzelli. We're going to be joined now by 2 members of our baseball team, Pat Maybach and Kyle Brown. Fellas, welcome to the show. How are you?
How you doing, Andrew? How are you?
Good. I wanted to start off by asking the fall ball thing. How has it been going? Does it feel almost like Groundhog Day since the spring was so short and it's almost like you had fall ball and almost a blink of an eye, spring's here and it's gone. And now you're back in fall ball again.
Yeah, it's definitely been weird with everything with the masks, but it's good. We get to play, so I can't complain at all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thought it was going to be our last fall ball last year, and then, we get to come back, during our 5th year and still get to play. So it's a good opportunity, but excited for the spring.
Mm-hmm. How has the fall gone, and maybe who has stood out or impressed you guys during that time?
Some of these freshmen, man, they're about 5 years younger than me. I think 17, 18-year-olds, some of these kids, but they're playing well. They're listening to us and making especially Eric happy.
Honestly, even though kind of Brownie's on this with us, I think Brownie and the other 5th-year pitcher, Dione, it's been cool watching them. It's been a long trip, 5 years doing this. And just them staying through it with me and just having them around all the time is nice, and they've made big strides this year, and hope good things out of both of them, and just watching them just grow as like I've been here all my 5 years has been fun. Mm-hmm. So it's good to have them.
Talk about the 5th year thing. What does it mean to have that possibility to come back for the 5th year? That includes baseball. When you either hadn't planned on it because of either the pandemic or like Pat, you had the potential if you could have not played 2 springs ago and had a medical year and had a 5th year anyway. You said, nah, I don't want to do that. I want to play. I want to win a conference championship. And next year will be my senior year. And now you have a 5th year anyways. So for both of you guys, what does that 5th year mean now?
It's cool. It's nice. I was coming back anyway for the MBA program, but it was really tough this spring, when we got the news from Jody and everything, and it was a tough few weeks, but then we found out we were able to come back, and it's nice to be able to finish my degree and be able to finish up our 4th full year of baseball and just have that and not have this awkward year where there's nothing really going on with everything these days and not having baseball as well. So it's a nice little mix to put into the little boredom that we get into.
For me, I had no plans of coming back. I thought it was just going to be the end. Have my senior day with the guys and kind of send it off hopefully with the conference championship. And with everything going on, coach telling us we could come back, another year of eligibility. I talked to my parents with work, seeing if I can come back, if everything could work out. and I finally made my decision like late July, early August, and I'm happy to be back and excited for the spring also.
Technically, you guys are still defending conference champions. Nobody dethroned you guys. I know you guys were very confident in the team you had this past spring. Didn't get to play out that season. What are your expectations, and what do you think this spring of 2021 can hold for this team?
I believe.
I'll go ahead, Brian.
Oh no, you got it, Pat.
Honestly, like it's kind of on us. We have a lot of talented underclassmen. It's cool that the kids that are now like turning sophomores, but like baseball freshmen, they have a lot of experience with both fall balls. They got a full winter, a couple games under their belt, so we have a lot more experience. I think this year, numbers wise, with like kids coming back. So I think a lot of it will be like what we do going forward with the rest of the fall into the winter, and how we can transition that in the spring. And if we can just keep ourselves motivated, then I think we can compete with anybody in the conference. So I think it's kind of on us.
Agree with Pat. It's on us with the underclassmen too, like the rising sophomores, baseball freshmen. Like Pat said, a winter under their belt, fall, somewhat of a spring. But I think these freshmen can come in and really help us out, juniors, seniors, everyone. But the biggest thing I think is just coming out ready to play every day, listening, coming out to grind, stay on the path of doing well.
What did you guys do throughout your summers to stay ready? We learned eventually that, hey, we're going to try and have sports in the coming year. But obviously everybody had different restrictions they were dealing with. What did you guys do to try and stay in shape baseball-wise throughout the summer? Did you have an opportunity to play, too? Some places people could play.
No, I didn't play. I don't know about Pat. It was a little weird back where I'm from in New York on Long Island. Things weren't really opening up as soon as I got home late May. I kind of just stood on what I was doing, like beach runs, kind of running around my little 1 mile town a couple times, throwing a couple times a week. But besides that, I was just doing the same thing, bands, working out, staying in that consistent routine.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I had the opportunity to play in Newport, but this was my first summer home, so I got a job, joined the real world for a little bit. I still got like work out when I could, do my bands. I didn't get to throw at all, but it was just nice to like take a break from all the throwing and just like get your body right. And I am only 22, but I feel pretty old now, so it's nice to just get my body.
Just you wait another 6 years, Pat. Wait another 6 years.
Not excited.
Was it hard then to transition into being back on campus and then being in practice, one with everything going on in the world, but then from, like you said, Pat, having not thrown a ball?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I hadn't set an alarm clock in 5 months, and then practice one, I showed up an hour late, so that didn't go well. But it's been like kind of interesting. Like we'll be doing all of our conditioning now, and like we have a mask on, and that's difficult. And then like position players are on the bases with masks on, and it's just like we got to socially distance all the time. So it's just like while we're not as like close to each other and like we can't talk as freely, like it's nice to just get out there, like be able to be with the guys, get our work in, and it's been great. I'm so excited to get back out there, not having picked up a ball all summer. So
it definitely feels like a dream when I'm running my sprints with my mask on and having to puff and puff a little bit more with it. But, we're just happy to be out there. It stinks with the mask, but what are you going to do in social distancing? But we just got to do it, stay through it. But besides that, everything's going well.
Pat, you put on our pre-show questionnaire that people would be surprised to know that you have a twin. I want to know, did you ever trade places? Is he lefty? Does he got the same stuff? Would anybody ever know?
I mean, like baseball-wise, we're both lefty pitchers. So, like, yeah, I guess that could work. But if you saw him, you definitely wouldn't think we're related. So, no, we've never switched roles. But it was nice growing up, having another kid to play catch with every day. And just, like, we were always competitive with each other because, like, we're both just lefty pitchers. So, like, we really did the same thing. But, yeah, it was nice just having him around growing up.
I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. I'm sure, maybe not. Everybody's different. Have you been watching any of the World Series?
Yes, religiously.
Did you? Yeah. So you saw how Game 4 ended with the multiple errors and guys tripping over the baselines. Have you ever? You know what? Here's what we'll do. We'll just share because I have the ability to share. We'll let the viewing audience see the final moments of Game 4 of the World Series. So we'll let this play out first. I just want to know from you guys, have you ever seen a play like this? I'm sure maybe in Little League, this many, errors and just mistakes happening in one play. But professionally, I can't even imagine. I've never seen anything like that in a major league ball game.
Not gonna lie, I've seen that many errors in a Salve game. So. It's just that's how it goes, man. Like baseball is a crazy sport, and like the Dodgers were in the lead that game, and just how you can't win until you get the last out, and it came down to it, and so it's just how it goes. Sometimes you just can't control it.
I agree with Pat. Me and him have probably seen everything with our inter squads and Ball World Series. Just like he said, it's baseball. Anything can happen on any given play. And a Rosarania probably didn't expect he was going to score on that, and he turns around and the ball's past Will Smith. So just a crazy play.
Do you guys think that the Dodgers will close it out now? They won last night. They have a chance to win the World Series. Do you think they'll make it happen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want the Rays to win, but I don't know if they're going to get 2 straight here. It's going to be tough.
They took out my Yankees, so I'm rooting for the Rays.
All right. Well, fellas, thank you so much for joining me here this afternoon. Great to see you both. Hopefully see you guys out on a field this spring, and good luck with the rest of the fall.
All right,
thanks for having us.
All right, that's Pat Maybach and Kyle Brown of our baseball team. We're going to take a short break and be right back with the producers to wrap up today's show. Don't go anywhere.
So you want to be a Seahawk? Let's make sure you wash your hands, keep your distance, wear your mask, and love your Seahawks.
Sammy, no mask?
Come on, Sammy. I know it's pumpkin spice season, but you can't bring drinks to class.
We have simple rules here, Sammy. Get out. Come back when you can follow them.
You gotta take care of yourself and others, even if you are Sammy the Seahawk.
All right, welcome back to Seahawk Talk. I'm your host, Andrew Pizzelli. Going to bring back in the producers now, Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco, to help close out today's program. Fellas, I always like to get your thoughts first from our guests here today. Anything that stood out to both of you?
I'm just really surprised. Graysen's been playing tennis since kindergarten. I didn't even know, I've been playing baseball, I don't know, 8, so maybe that's first grade-ish. I'm just impressed she was able to handle a racket at that age. I thought that was that really stood out to me. That's the most memorable part of today.
Yeah, in particular for me, I think just hearing about that the Walk for Equality thing, which it's funny because I just saw a new poster for it in Antone today. I was going to class and I saw a poster that looked different, and I walked back over there. I'm like, oh, what's this? And it was cool. And I was like, oh, Thursday. I'm free on Thursday, so I'll probably go to that. And it was cool to hear him talk about it, and because I like things like that, I think it's really important. So I'm glad we got to talk about it on the show.
Yeah, awesome. Joey, I think speaking of tennis, I think you had some tennis-related news that you wanted to share.
Yes. I was just looking. I think this just came out because I didn't see it earlier. Yeah, it came out at 3:30 because I didn't see this when I was looking before. Newport Daily News just posted that the Tennis Hall of Fame has announced that it's going to be closed until April because of COVID, and they already don't get a lot of people in the winter, and they're just trying to be safe in general. It does say, though, it specifies that stuff specifically Team Fame, which is their youth enrichment program thing, that's still going to be going. They're kind of the museum itself part of it is closed, but all the sort of events type things are still going to be going for the most part. But yeah, the you're not gonna be able to go inside and stuff like that. That stuff is going to be closed until April 1st, which is a long time. But I guess that is technically the end of winter.
Are they actually going to open then, or are they just going to say, "Ha, just kidding, April Fools, we're opening tomorrow"?
I don't know. I thought the same thing when I read it. It'd be kind of funny. I don't know what kind of like tennis themed joke they could pull on people, but they should announce like, we're gonna open and also we're gonna have the world's largest tennis racket. Like, do something
or
like
tennis,
that. Like,
tennis, or tennis ball on display.
Yeah.
World's largest tennis ball.
And then the joke is they just have a very small tennis racket.
Mike, I'm going to let you have the last word here with what you wanted to close the show with.
No, yeah, just wanted to just keep pumping that message of go vote. Now we've only got a few more days, so if you haven't already, go in. I'm personally going to go in that November 3rd back home. It'll be because I get to spend a day at home. I'm from Rhode Island, so that's what I'm going to be doing. But if you're doing early ballot, or absentee, go ahead and get that done now with just a few days left. So.
Awesome. Yeah, the early batter is for when you're making pancakes and you're pre-making the batter for the pancakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Batter. Early voting.
Ballot.
Make yourself early batter so that you can have more time to go vote.
There you go. Perfect.
Joey cleaned it up for us. There you go.
Transitive thinking. All right, fellas. Great job as always. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow.
All right, that's Joy Morelli and Mike DeFusco, the producers here on Seahawk Talk. I want to thank our guests once again today. We had Jody Mooradian, along with Paul Boutoussov, president of SAC and a senior on our men's ice hockey team, Graysen, Scherer, Patrick Cooney, Kyle Brown, and Pat Maybach. Big thanks to them for joining us here on the program. Looking forward to tomorrow's show. As always, we are live every day, 3 to 4 p.m. here on the Salve Athletics Network. That's on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. You can subscribe or follow on all of those platforms to catch the show live or go back and watch past episodes of the show, or you can subscribe to the Seahawk Talk podcast to get Seahawk Talk on the go. It's an audio version of the show, and you can listen to it whenever you please. No excuse to ever miss a show. Well, that'll do it here today. Once again, big thanks to our guests. I am Andy Pizzelli. Have a good afternoon, everyone.